Omicron. Oh yeah, I'm talking Omicron. I'm 30 days past my COVID infection. And now I'm here to tell you what I went through. Omicron. Yeah. They said death and despair. There was no mention about alpaca hair. Maybe I should have got the jab and I wouldn't be here. Omicron. I'm not an alpaca. Or a llama. Is my friend. I usually just put him in the at the front of the studio there. It scares the kids, keeps them out of here. Anyways, allow me to introduce myself. I am Jeremy Scott of the Jeremy Scott program. Here we are. Supposed to start this a long time ago, but I had some stuff. Some stuff came up. But now we're here, and couldn't be a better time, I guess, right? Today is March the 10th. Yeah, we're filming this on March the 10th. I'm hoping I'll get it uploaded very shortly after I finish, but I have some announcements. Does it work that way? Because I've never made a show before, so it's not like nobody's viewing this. If you're watching this, you're probably like the only person. And congratulations. You really have made it, and your parents should be proud. But I am a little over 30 days out of a infection. Yeah, I almost made it 2 years. I live in New Brunswick, Canada. That's where our lovely program here is based. What do you mean our? It's we. None of that. It's me. It's me. Nobody's behind the camera. I do all this. That's why it's all blurry and maybe the sound isn't that great and it's not scripted or rehearsed or anything. I made a giant blanket fort in my garage and got some lights and I got an old camera and a good microphone. I'm happy. I'm thankful that everything is here. I'm thankful I'm here. I'm thankful my family's here. We all had the thing. Whatever. The Omicron. I'm pretty sure it was Omicron. It was really mild. We were sick for a couple days. I yeah, and I'm gonna make a controversial statement here. Not that I want to blow up. So I mean, if you're offended, please share this and subscribe and like and I'm sure I can offend you some more. But I think COVID was the best thing that ever happened to me. Not the not no like my son, those my beautiful dogs that are here. Eventually, I'll have them in the show. I want to have like a couch here, but recently in a recent time of my life I have to say that COVID, very good, very good. Now I was sick for about a day or two, not so great, but the side effects I really did like them. And they don't talk about this, so I lost some weight, and just that alone, I mean, it should be the next thing. Like like the Atkins and the Jenny Craigs and all that. Nothing takes 15 or 20 pounds off like a good round of Omicron. Um, as well, I mean, it depends, I guess. If it's not for everybody. But for myself, it was pretty good. It's pretty good. And I also was able to kick a marijuana habit. Yeah, I'm saying marijuana. My government sells this stuff now, and they want it rebranded as cannabis. But when they were locking people up and kind of ruining people's lives over it, they referred to it as marijuana, and that's what I'm gonna call it. I quit. I quit. Everybody, nobody's here. But I quit. I quit. I quit. And I'm not one of these like, "Oh, I'm sober, you should get sober." No, and frankly, I think some of you should start smoking weed. It might help a little bit, but I'm not here to give medical advice. Please follow your public health guidelines cuz the government really cares about you. That's bullshit. But please follow the public health guidelines. Don't take down my channel. Really want to, keep making these videos that I'm just starting to do now. So who knows? I might not even make this one, right? Waiting for that big flash of light to come. It's like I started losing weight. I stopped smoking marijuana, and Now we're on our way to World War III. We're on the path, you know, we're like little Frodo and Sam just on our way to Mount Doom. Was it Mount Doom? Or was it Mordor? I think it was the same thing. Please, if you got shit to say it in the comments. Don't stop yelling at your screen like a psychopath. I guess I'm standing with Ukraine now. It cost me $74.52 to fill up my Hyundai. $74.52 for 41 and a half liters of fuel. I'm not converting to gallons. Nothing's coming up here. I mean, I'm capable of it. Um, I'm capable of doing a few things here. Like, oh, look at me. Look, I got some stuff going here. What about that? Oh, we're in the clouds now. World, most of you spend all of your time, but I don't have anything to bring up. So if anything that I say on the show, you're like confused, just figure it out. Look it up for yourself. I'm not saying to Google it because you know how reliable that is. Hey Google, can a man get pregnant? See what it says. See what it says. Jamie, you don't understand it's the trans stuffs. It's their thing, right? And I don't care. I don't care. You don't. I shouldn't have to explain it. I'm from the old school. Okay, I don't. But I respect people. Whatever you want to do, that's great. I just we gotta have some kind of meaning to words. Otherwise, they don't mean anything, right? And they don't really. I mean, words don't mean anything when I say something bad and it's offensive and I need to keep my channel. Then they're just sound vibrations coming out and you're perceiving them to be offensive. But some of these words do mean things. Yeah, we just started. How far am I in here? 7 minutes. Yeah, I'm not gonna touch on that. Not gonna get it on. I'm just saying, I've gotten some direction in my life now. Can we just hold off on the whole like mutual annihilation for like a couple years at least? So I went through a really rough period in 2018 and 2019. I really wasn't my best. And at the end of 2019, I had like an awakening. I realized, what was important and that I had control of myself. Um, and then something happened where we can't talk about where it came from. And anyways, so here we are now, 2 years later, and I'm doing my show. I'm finally starting what I want to do. And this isn't like exactly what I want to do. I want to do stand-up comedy. I want to entertain. But this is a start in my garage. So if we could just hold off on the rhetoric and stuff, and I really like not being public enemy number one, because I didn't get the whole thing, so I can't get on an airplane still. I can't leave my country. I can't. Well, I just can't go to the states, really, which I really love to do. Really want to do that, but I can't. So yeah, but I'm happy that certain things are coming away. Thank God, those truckers. Yeah, well, it wasn't the truckers. Yes, it was the truckers. It was the truckers. All right, because before the truckers, it was there. There was like no end in sight. I was super not in a good place then either. I was just like sick of it. I was sick of like people that even people that I respected and thought like, oh, you're intelligent. You know, just buying whatever the government's selling, buying whatever the news is selling. And now I'm not public enemy number one. Now it's the Russians again. It's not for some election meddling stuff. Now like they legitimately did something. They invaded another country, which we would never do, never. And I'm not here to be a what about it. I don't think that's right. Shouldn't. If you get up in the morning and you're thinking, hey, maybe I'm going to invade a country today, don't don't invade a country. Okay, and we're clear on that. The Jeremy Scott program, you're not, unless it might be fake news, but the Jeremy Scott program does not invade other countries. We hardly even do anything at all. I can't. I'm the Jeremy Scott program. If you'd like to be our producer, me. God damn it, the fucking videos I watch, they just brainwash you into like all this stuff. Like even I can't even get away from it. All right, just like everybody who parrots whatever they hear on the TV, 1 minute they're like, "Believe all women," and they're like, "Fuck them if they don't get a vaccine," and then the next thing they're like, "Stand with Ukraine, fuck the Russians." Like, it's just, do you have opinions of yourselves? No, okay. Anyways, so yeah, we're almost to the summer of 2022. If we can make it there, I mean, the only giant fireball I want to see is the sun shining down on me while I'm sitting on a beach. Clearly not outside of my country. I don't see that changing anytime soon. I mean, even though I've had it, and it's like, why if I had it, why am I gonna go get the thing? It's just so it's not about because I want to prevent from getting the thing. It's because, Jeremy, if you want to travel, you got to take the thing. It's just like, I don't want to. I just don't want to. So I guess I'm not going to travel. Before, it's not like I wanted to get a passport and go through that process and take my shoes off and wait at the airport for 2 hours or something to get on a plane and then be sitting on this crummy plane with crummy food, sitting beside crummy people. Like, the whole process to begin with has been crummy. But now you're adding on, hey, so why don't you roll the dice on having a permanent heart condition or whatever things may or may not happen, whatever. No, I'm good. I'm good. So I'm gonna stay, I guess, in New Brunswick. Hopefully, I can make a little trip through Canada this summer. I'd like to go out and do some clubs. I was gonna do that just before COVID. I brought myself together. I started like calling my local comedy clubs and getting looking for open mic spots and stuff. And I had a few things that came up that weren't anything with anybody else's fault but my own. All right, everything's my fault. All right, and that's a good thing. It's good to accept ownership. Everything is my fault. Just like everything is your fault. The fact that whatever you're doing right now and you're watching this, that's your fault. Has nothing to do with me. I didn't come here and tell you to do that, okay? So whatever you're doing, it's your fault. Unless you're Ukrainian, it's not your fault at all. Seriously, it isn't. I mean, none of these people, it's not their fault, especially like the Ukrainians and the Russians, all right? Like, everything that we take for granted, these people don't have right now, all right? The Ukrainians, they're having their homes blown up and they're fleeing for their lives. The Russians, like, they can't watch Netflix. Apparently McDonald's is pulling out. And like, when I first read a few of those things of like all the stuff that the Russians are losing, it's just like, I fucking deserve it, huh? And it's just like, and then the other time I'm just like, we would lose our minds. We would be at our leaders' doors just demanding we nuke those other people because we can't watch fucking whatever the Netflix. I don't watch barely anything on television, so I don't know. Fill in the blanks, whatever's popular right now, the Bird Box, whatever it is. Who cares? It's not important. Everything's a sellout. They ruined Star Trek, they ruined Star Wars, but you know that. That's why you've chosen some superior programming. You're here watching the Jeremy Scott program. So, yeah, the Ukrainians are losing their homes, and Russians are losing their economy, and McDonald's, Netflix, many other things, which may turn out to be, I mean, at least for them as a people, might be a good thing. You know what? Like, if we as a people watched less television and didn't eat McDonald's, maybe like half of us wouldn't have diabetes and be fat and be useless and be so dumb that we just can't even look past our phone screens and just be like, oh my god, this is what I'm enraged about. Blah. I know. I'm not scripted. I don't have anything here. As soon as I have a producer and a comedy writing team, it will improve. But for now, it is what it is. And I know you're paying top dollar to watch this show, so you have rightful things to complain. Hit me up in the comments with all your complaints. Your that, like, if anything that we're good at doing besides standing with the Ukraine is complaining. We are the perpetual complainers. So yeah, here we are. Where I live, it's less than a week now, and we are done with the masks. few weeks ago, we got rid of the jab requirements, which is great. I got back to the gym, because that was really the good thing about our government, because they thought, you know what, if we want to keep people healthy and safe, so let's ban them from the gym. That worked good. Jeremy had a real good winter. But now I'm back. I'm back swimming in the pool. Like my knees are actually really sore because I went really hard in the pool. I didn't lift any weights. I'm not doing that for a while, but my knees are sore. And everybody's in the comments down like, "Oh, your knees are sore. What were you doing?" Not that. I was swimming, quite a bit of swimming, and I didn't stretch, and maybe I don't eat right, and it is what it is. From North America, it's what we do. So the masks are apparently going to be done soon, which is great. I mean, I myself, I'm like banned from a few. I'm banned from the local hardware store. This is one store I'm going to let you know about. I'm banned from my local hardware store. A few places they haven't really enforced the masks. Everybody wears masks. Like I go into these places without a mask, even though it's public health requirements. And then I'm like, and follow your public health guidelines, people. This isn't. I'm not encouraging you to break the law. Don't break the law. When it comes to breaking the law, don't do it. But me myself, not that good at being like pushed down for 2 years. Just so yeah, I had a little bit of a not a great me moment. Went to the hardware store. I'm not into doxing, so I'm not gonna give you this guy's real name. He's like mid 70s. He's the manager at the local hardware store where I live. His name kind of sounds like Jerry and Harold. So you can put those together if you want. But again, I'm not going to say his actual name, so I'm just going to call him Jur Harold. So Mr. Jur Harold, he approached me in the store. You know, I lied and said that I had a medical exemption, which I did not, and he was a bright guy. Called me on it, and then I couldn't produce it, so he told me to get out of the store, and I didn't. So we waited there for about 30 to 40 minutes for the police to arrive, because they were off dealing with crime, with stuff that police should be dealing with, but because of me, that's what happened. And I'm glad that Jur Harold, he kept himself together. He did at one point like get in my like 70-something-year-old man gets in my face, and I was very quick to point out like, hey man, 6 feet. Get back. If you can quote the rules, you can follow them, sir. Which I get me, right? I'm sitting here telling him 6 feet and I'm not wearing a mask. But I feel like the 6 feet thing is more important than the cloth thing on your face. Whatever. Anyways, so I was banned from the store. He promised me I would be arrested and fined. The police though was very polite, which should always be. Always be polite to the police. I'm a pointer. I'm not an Obama. I'm not going to do this. All the politicians, they do this now. When they really, because they want to do this, which they do, but they do that with the pen. They don't do that with their finger anymore. Anyways, so banned from the store, no charges laid. Thankfully, I was very respectful to the police officers, and they understood. But they have a job to do, and that's follow whatever rules they're told to follow. And I'm not that good at that, so I'm banned from the store. But shortly after that, I did get COVID. Wasn't from the store thing though. I had a good friend who got it. His daughter got it. They're fully vaccinated. I'm not. This is not saying anything against vaccines. Do it. Do what you want to do. Um, but we got it from them, and it passed through me and everybody in my household. So, but while that was going on, so I got banned from the store, and then a little while later, I had the the cough. I already said the word. Why am I beating around? We're just like timid little dogs now, aren't we? Just scared of saying whatever, right? Meanwhile, like Joe Biden's out there like sniffing girls' hair and calling people the N-word. Does he still do that? I don't know. I don't follow it anymore. I'm done with it. After Trump got out, I was like, I'm done with this politics stuff. It was entertaining then. Now it's just sad. I do like Kyle Dunnigan's impression of Joe Biden though. That's funny. That's funny. You should check that out after you watch my whole show. Don't leave me for Kyle. Kyle has enough viewers. I clearly, if you look below on the little bar there, I don't have any. I don't have nothing. So I don't even have a producer. But so that happened, and it kind of stuck with me. Like, oh, I'm banned from this hardware store. Now I got to go to the Home Depot. I don't want to go to Home Depot, but I guess I'm gonna have to for now on. Which they weren't very, you know, heavy on the mask either. You just tell them you have an exemption, they let you go. Anyways, but I seen this. There's a news story I'm gonna cover now. I'm not bringing anything up. I'm not a bringer upper. You know, like if I wanted to, I could bring up like this guy. You know, he's fun. Or this footage of my dog and me. We watched a movie together. It was fun. He loves watching movies. He likes watching movies with people. As soon as there's like violence or like anything like that, I think that was the Bill Murray documentary, possibly. Yeah, no, but he loves movies. My dog loves movies. Anyways, so let's go back up to here. Oh, in the stars. Here we are. Starry background. See, so I can bring stuff up. I'm just not doing that. Not right now. Maybe once I have a producer. Maybe once I decide to put a little bit more effort into the show. But not doing that right now. So, a story came up. Now, here's a news network you might not be able to follow for very long. It's called RT. So they had a story they posted on February the 19th. I guess it was covered in the New York Times as well. It was this cashier, I think is in Vegas. Yeah. So a cashier shot maskless customer, then killed self. Yeah, we're really just gonna have some feel good stories here today. So, and then I'm sitting there. I started reading the story. I'm like, oh my god, thank you, Jer Harold wasn't going on like this one. But I was there to get lumber, and apparently this person was getting chips. So the subline is the angry gas station employee opened fire on a customer who refused to wear a mask and walked out without paying. Now I didn't do that. I didn't do that at the hardware store. I didn't just start grabbing lumber and just like, oh, you're kicking me out. Well, I'm taking this stuff and going. Still, you shouldn't shoot people. When the thought crossed your mind, hey, I want to shoot this person, don't. So the story starts with a Las Vegas gas station cashier shot a 26-year-old customer after he refused to wear a mask in a store before pointing the gun on himself. Well, if he didn't point it at himself, he'd have a hard time committing suicide. That's usually how it works. The gun shoots where you point it. Anyways, so the guy killed himself. He's a 36-year-old cashier. Maybe that was a part of the suicide. 36 years old and you're a cashier. So let's not just blame this, oh, this person was totally fine and everything was great until the maskless person showed up. No, the 36-year-old cashier, clearly there's some issues there. It's a great job. Don't worry. Don't get offended. If you want to, hit in the comments, share it to your friends, whatever. But don't get offended and shut it off. You got to stay. I promise you some more offense. If you're offended now, just wait. Just wait. So 10 years old difference here. 36-year-old shoots 26-year-old. What was it over? Was he trying to like walk out of the store with a Lamborghini? No, the customer. So the cashier reportedly yelled at the customer to put on a mask or leave the store, and refused to process his order of 3 bags of potato chips. So this was kind of like my thing when I had with Jer Harold, because I was there just to get a few pieces of lumber. I'm just trying to put up this little thing in my house. It's not important. Okay, it's not important. The lumber's too expensive to begin with anyways. But, so the whole transaction may have been 15 minutes. But because of like this confrontation and then us waiting like 30 or 40 minutes for the cops, I was in the store for nearly an hour without a mask on. It's not like I'm waiting for the police. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll put on my mask now and wait for the police. No. I've been done with it for a while, and that's when I said I was done. You know, I was just like Benjamin Sisko in that episode of Deep Space Nine, where they weren't in the space station then. He was like playing this writer, and the guy's just like, "Oh, you're fired," and then he's like upset about it, and he's like, "I'm gonna call the police." He's like, "You go on and call them." That's what I did. It was totally because of the inspiration from that scene. So Ben Sisko, Avery Brooks, thank you. That was me in that moment. But I was there for like an hour. And I don't know how long this person was in the store with the chips, but the cashier yelled at the customer, "Put on a mask!" And like, you know, they clearly had some debate, you know, unless the person just went right to yelling, then whatever. But it might have been fast. Like if it's really about you don't want to catch the the thing, why don't we just then sell the chips, and then get out of the store, and then just say, "Sir, the next time you come in here, you're going to have that, or else I won't be able to serve you." Instead, this person just went right to the other way, yelling at them, causing a scene, made the person like the person was clearly, it's their fault, not wearing the mask, supposed to wear a mask, whatever. But they're in the store longer because of the fight. So it's more about you're not following the rules than it is about the actual thing that we're supposed to be wearing these things for. One sec. No, I'm not gonna mess with it. If I mess with it, I might lose it. It's good enough. You guys can hear me. If you can't hear me, then what am I even doing anyways? So it was on February the 6th. So the guy, did he follow him out from the store? I'm not sure. Yeah, so the customer then walked out with the chips without paying, while the cashier allegedly followed while recording him on his phone. The police claimed that once the physical fight was broken up, the cashier pulled out a handgun and shot at the customer 3 times, hitting him in the shoulder. After the injured customer ran to another store, the cashier used the same gun to fatally shoot himself in the head. So this guy wasn't having guy or girl. I mean, whatever. I don't know what they were identifying at the time as what they were. And I don't know if the person had a penis, didn't have a penis. It doesn't really matter. Just like a lot of this doesn't really matter. Either way, cashier wasn't at his best. His or her, what they weren't at their best, and then the customer, they weren't at their best as well. And I don't know the story of it. I don't know if the guy was high, was the guy or girl, he, she, whatever. I don't know. Clearly they weren't at their best, but it really made me think, and I'm just like, thank you, Gerharold. You know, you did get a little bit of aggressive with me. You violated the 6 feet rule. I violated the mask. We could have just called it even then, but you called the cops on me. I'm just thankful that you're more of a snitch than you are a psycho, and you didn't chase me down and shoot me. That's good. Thank you very much for that, Gerharold. So, yeah. Anyway, so a little bit after that, I got the cough, and then I didn't have, actually, I didn't have a cough at all. It was more like, I had a headache, and it just felt like, it just felt like a flu. I couldn't get off the couch for half the day, and then the later half the day, I felt a lot better, and yeah. So, a friend of mine brought me some stuff. And maybe you can't read that. It says, maybe I shouldn't say I'm already saying all this stuff anyways. If this ends up on Rumble, this is why. You can't say anything anymore. I mean, you can make a video when you're like a minor and shaking your butt on the thing, on the camera, and that's fine. But if you say the word ivermectin, you're in trouble. So this is the stuff that, like, allegedly they said Joe Rogan took, but he didn't, because Joe has a doctor and has like $100 billion, and yeah, so he didn't take the horse. In case you didn't know, CNN was lying, which they usually do. But so if you thought Joe was crazy and got lots of views, well, wait, because Jeremy's gonna get some. Because I did. I actually took the ivermectin liquid for horses, and I read the warnings. So warning. Treated horses must not be slaughtered for use in food for at least 14 days after the latest treatment with this drug. Avoid smoking and eating while handling. Protect eyes from direct contact with the product and wash hands after used. Keep out of reach of children. I did the last part. I didn't give this to my kids. I took it myself, and do not advise that. Should take human medications. But if this ends up blowing up my channel and Jeremy becomes a world name, if this is the poster that we get, me on CNN, like, I took ivermectin for horses because I can't get anything from my doctor. I took other stuff too, but that's the one that's gonna matter, right? I took a bunch of stuff, took like vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, drank some fluids, but mostly I just let it run its course. I got a fever, and I didn't take anything to bring the fever down. I don't think a fever is a bad thing. A fever shows that your body's fighting this stuff off, so I just let it happen. The Jeremy Scott program is not giving medical advice. The Jeremy Scott program is just being the Jeremy Scott program. Okay? Okay. Anyways, so that was a good time. And then I got over it. And like I said, I think that was one of the better things that happened to me because I mean, maybe I'd still be smoking the old doobies still. Maybe I'd still be doing those other things that I was doing. But I stopped. I stopped. And I got my studio built. I made some changes in my life. You know, I went through the withdrawals off the pot. You know, really just a little moody for a couple of weeks. But other than that, now I'm good. And now that I've had it, even though there's less than a week left for the mask, I stopped wearing the mask a while ago. After I cleared the COVID, I was just like, why am I going to wear a mask anymore? I'm not sick. I know I'm not sick because I already was sick and now I'm not sick. So it's like, why would I wear a mask if I'm not sick? You know, I'm not in the pool. Why am I going to wear a life jacket? Oh, but you got to wear it for other people. Yeah, I get it. You know, maybe it makes some people uncomfortable. But frankly, you people have making me uncomfortable for like the past 15 years. All right? And I used to be just normal and part of the thing and I took a trip once to a foreign land and I was in a big city and I remember coming out we were in a bar, we were drinking like I did the entire trip. Whole trip I just drank. But I remember leaving a bar and I don't know, it was just the state that I was in, very observant, and I just looked around and it was just a sea of people. Thousands of people. The sidewalks are filled up. Think of like New York, the picture of New York City. Not it wasn't New York City, it was a really big city. And it's just every single person just walking around, just seemed like everybody. And I felt like the only person that was not. I felt like the only person who was actually just looking around and just enjoying where I was. At that point, I became, not so cool with the phone. I wasn't enthused about social media anymore. I didn't like taking selfies anymore. I thought it was dumb. And that's where I am now. I still think that it's pretty dumb. So, this is where we are. So, I'm not really pro TikTok and all these apps, but sometimes they have a use. So, people often talk about the American dream. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, when I say the American dream, you're thinking, okay, yeah, yeah, guy or girl, he, she, they, whatever. They live in a place, and that place maybe isn't that great. And then they leave that place, and then they come to America, and they make a go of it, and they give their kids the life that they never had, and they get financial freedom, and that's the American dream. That's not only for immigrants, though. There's the other American dream. The American dream for Americans. And that dream is to shoot someone dead and totally not face any charges or anything out of it. And the best way to do that is when someone enters your house with a gun and then you shoot them dead. Next week you're bragging about your friends at the coffee shop. Like, hey, don't fuck with me, man. Anyways, so now the other story I want to go to, and then we're just doing RT today. This is the only two that I want to talk about. Just the second one, and then we're just on to the feel goods. So the headline reads, this is from February 18th. Yeah, I know it's a little bit dated. I had some stuff, the basement flooded, the dogs, just holy shit. Don't have kids, don't have dogs, don't have stuff, because you'll never follow your dreams. That's the truth. If you're gonna get anything out of the show, that's it. I'm just kidding. Have kids. It's probably one of the most fulfilling things you can have in life, aside from following your dreams. TikTok star's father kills daughter's stalker, walks free. And then the subline is ex-cop shoots daughter's obsessed fan after he turns up at their house with the shotgun. And that's the American dream, everybody. So this girl, just like all our youth these days, getting on the internet. I don't know. I don't have TikTok. All right. Frankly, I think if you have TikTok, you're either a kid or you're a pedophile. Take that with what you will. And you can be an adult that's a kid, but it's one or the other. Anyway, so this young girl who I don't know her channel. I haven't looked at it. I don't know. I'm just assuming because that's just kind of what happens now, right? Like when I was a kid, parents would kind of warn their kids and be like, okay, you got to be careful on the internet. You know, those weirdos on there. Versus now, it's just like, oh, no, 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 Jenny's here. Jenny's just in the backyard with her little friends. You know, they just finished middle school and they got the camera set up and they're shaking their butts for the camera. Totally okay. No, 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 nobody's gonna see it. They're just gonna put on um they're just gonna put on the internet, and whoever sees it sees it. And just one sec. Yep, just replying to messages. You tell people, hey, I'm filming. Anyways, so here I am. Yeah, so an obsessive fan of TikTok star Ava Majuri traveled from his home in Maryland to the teen's Naples, Florida home with a shotgun, using the weapon to blow open the front door before it jammed. Majori's father, Rob, a retired police lieutenant, first chased him off, then shot and killed him when he returned and pointed the gun at Ava. I think at this point you'd be like, Ava, I think it's time that we stop posting stuff on the internet because you're just. Yeah, I'm not blaming Ava. I'm not saying, oh my God, blame the girl for what she was wearing and then she got blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if you're going to expose yourself on the internet, I'm not saying she exposed herself either. I'm just saying, you know, clearly she puts stuff on the internet of herself. She's a young girl. It's describing the time she was 14 years old. Like, I, as a parent, know. Like, I just know. If I don't have a daughter, but if I did have a daughter, and apparently this girl's bringing in some dough, right? And daddy doesn't want to go back to being a cop, clearly. So they're not, what is the thing? Oh, we're just going to keep making TikTok fans. We're just going to keep making TikTok videos now after we're clearly, and they've had multiple, like, people like stalkers and people like, you know, messaging her wanting, like, you know, pictures of other things, pictures of her feet. Just weirdos. Anyways, and some of them are classmates, apparently. Just, yes. But the dad doesn't want to go back to being a cop. Their homeowners association, I guess, asked them to move. And yeah, it is what it is. So Rob Majuri was not charged with killing Eric Justin, the 18-year-old stalker who pestered his then 14-year-old daughter for booty pics and photos of her feet. Thanks to Florida's Stand Your Ground law, which I'm kind of a fan. If someone's coming in trying to get my kids, I'm not going to be sitting there being like, well, dear, it's your fault for shaking your ass for the camera. This is what you get. Take him, Justin. Take him away. Take her. They, whatever they identify at that time. Thank you for the Stand Your Ground laws. However, the family has had to move to a rental home after the shooting as their homeowners association complained about Ava's disturbed fans being drawn to the property. What we will do for fame, huh? I'm just putting this out here now. I'm not going to give you booty pics. You're not going to get pictures of my feet. I do intend on starting an OnlyFans, but that's going to be more for like comedy and stuff. I don't plan on exposing myself on the internet. Plan on it. I'm not saying it'll never happen. So if I do expose myself on the internet, you can judge up this little video and be like, oh my God, Jeremy said he wasn't going to expose himself. And then they draw up the pictures of Jeremy exposing himself. I don't know. All right. 2 months ago, I was a pothead. Now, I'm not. Now I'm making videos in my garage and a giant blanket fort. So yeah, I'm not here to scare you, but you know, if you're young daughters, it's usually not the boys that are getting this kind of attention. But if your young daughter is exposing herself or getting, you know, getting some unwanted attention on TikTok, maybe stop with the TikTok. Unless it's bringing you lots of money, then you know, move to Florida, get a gun, and defend your home, because the feet pick wanting sickos are gonna be marching too. Anyways, am I gonna call it quits now? I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. You know, Everybody stand with Ukraine. You know, even though you're going to be paying $75 to fill up a little car, and who knows how much. I went and filled up the car because I'm like, I don't know when this is going to just keep going up. Um, and frankly, I mean, it is what it is. The me and the kids, we all have bicycles, and we're in shape, so we're ready to ride. I know for some of you that's not really an option. So best of luck. I hope everything kind of settles down and people can just kind of work this thing out. But I'm not intelligent enough to give you a really good take on it. I just know, it's not like Putin's just a bad guy and Ukraine is just totally innocent. And then I'm also not saying being like, oh, it's Ukraine's fault because there's a whole bunch of white supremacists, though there are. Um, Still, there's no reason. Like I said before, if you're thinking about invading a country, don't. Anyways, thank you very much. Next episode, I hope to have the couch set up here, and I'm gonna have the dogs laying up here with me, and hopefully we don't see any big flashes of light between now and then. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great day. Be loving and just stop with the goddamn stuffs and the sharing and the TikTok and the ass shaking. Just get a life. Get a life. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye. Bye bye now. Everybody have a good day now. Bye.